Hello, guys, and welcome to the show. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We have a few movies. So I have to give you a Shang-Chi review. So when people get in here, we'll be able to start the show and let's get rolling. Um, yeah, it's been a kind of a rough 3 months for me. But I've been uh, getting a lot of scam calls, as you saw in my last video. Um, Obviously, I blocked them. I was getting a total of 21, which is a lot. Um, I've had to deal with an awful lot of like rubbish, both from work related to personal related. Now I'm not gonna reveal how I got scammed, but suffice to say, it was very vicious, and I got like one of these scams got me before, um, but they didn't they didn't win entirely. Let's put it that way. But anyway, enough about me. How's everybody doing? And let's get this started. So yeah, I went to see a movie called Shang-Chi. Now, despite what others are saying, I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was a fun movie. Um, Action packed. I had like a bit of comedy in there. Uh, we had a special guest um of Mr. Benedict Wong. Done a great job. Um, I'm thinking that was Abomination that he was fighting. Sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, it was a great show. There was nothing boring about it. I didn't feel that I was boring. I was like it was a kind of linear path to what we got in the end. Um, and it was exciting stuff. It was like a Japanese anime, you know. It was how do I mean the best way to describe it is it was a fun movie, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like there was no LGBTQ, there was no racial profiling, there was none of that. You know, it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, hey Paul, welcome to the show. Yeah, we're talking about movies today, so I would think you'd be an absolute genius on that score. But yeah, I went to see Shang Chi. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Um, when I was just talking about that. Um, So if you guys I know you're probably you're at work at the moment, so unfortunately I'd like to have you on, but get your take on past and present movies. About what we're getting in the future, etc. Like past, present, future. But yeah, maybe someone will hop on fairly soon. Well, I hope you're well, Paul. In any case, I really enjoyed your take on the new song for "We Are You Are" Echo Base Network. That was a really fun one. I'm sure, and well written. Yeah, I just came off Daryl's stream. We talked about Star Wars theme songs. It was an interesting take um, on what he had as regards to his leaning uh, top five tunes that he heard from Star Wars. Back in a moment. Oh. And I'm gonna do a song. It's called "I Am I Said." feet on his laid bed. Palm trees grow and rents are low, but you know I keep it above, making my way back. Well, I'm in New York City morning, nowadays I'm lost between two shores. It is fine, but it ain't home. New York's home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself to no one there, no one could at all, not even the chair. I am my cry, I am, said I, and I am lost and I can't even say why, even lonely still. And then became one. Except for the names and few of the changes. If you talked about me, the story's the same one. But I haven't even just said, and I tried, but it won't let me go. I'm not a man who likes to swear. I've never cared about for being alone. I am myself to no one there, and no one could at all, not even the chair. I am my pride, I am, said I, and I am lost and I can't even say why, even lonely still. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chair. I am my pride, I am, said I, and I am lost and I can't even say why, even lonely still. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. A little ditty by our good friend Neil Diamond. But yeah. Okay. So here's my take on the past movies And you're talking Silver Age, Golden Age, or whatever you want to talk. It was basically like you had a few cheesy lines, and I missed those. Like the classic Ernie movies, like "Let Out Some Steam, Bennett," things like that. Little ditties by our good friend Sly Stallone. And saying, "Adrian," you know, Adrian. Anyway, the and then of course our good friend B.A. Baracus saying, "What you saying, sucker?" But anyway, the it was one of those fun little and what you saying, Willis? But the like it was a lot of great lines like that, and like Rob Schneider, of course, given we're gonna need a bigger boat, things like that. Then you had the '80s movies. I mean, you had a bit gore. Like it was mostly known for it was mostly known for I mean, back in the '60s, you had the likes of like the it was proper silver stuff, like lining stuff. Like you had it was quite it was magic. Like back in the '60s, you had absolute magic. Like this is where it all started. Like movie magic at its finest was back in the '60s. Then you had the '70s, which is, I mean, that was just the golden age for movies. Like you had Jaws, you had Aliens, you had like Star Wars, you had everything. You know. Then you had the '80s, which is like classic horror. Like I mean, I wouldn't call them horror, but I would call them kind of action thriller or chillers. Um, like the likes of the Omen, for example. Um, it was like, I mean, you had uh, I don't know, like the Freddy movies, Freddy, like Nightmare on Elm Tree stuff. Then you had Jason Voorhees, like of the Friday the 13th franchise. The '90s, you had like it was all action then. Like that's when you were kind of upscaling like all this CGI stuff. Um, you had Jurassic Park. Yeah, like I mean, like you're talking award-winning stuff. Like was all made. Like I did. This was all proper '90s stuff, and then the '90s, like you had Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like that was like from the '90s to the '90s. That was the like that was just pure genius. Like the Harry Potter stuff, and like they were neck and neck, basically, in my opinion. Like the Harry Potter stuff and the Lord of the Rings stuff. Like that was absolute pure genius by Peter Jackson. Like he deserved what he got for those, like the screenplays, like the action, the comedy. Like he had everything: romance, chillers, gruesomeness. I had everything. You know, he was a genius. And then, like from after that, like you had like the remakes. You have remakes. I mean, that I don't understand. I mean, why can't they make a proper good story, right? Whereby, like, I have you on the edge of your seat, right? This is just my opinion, right? I mean, you can go to other people, ask their opinion, like, but this is just my opinion, and I'm just saying that we need good gripping stories, like something that will take us in, make us interested, and say, yes, we're gonna have this. I'll give you a wonderful example. Crazy Heart. There's a movie called Crazy Heart. It was right, I mean Colin Farrell, right, and it was an absolutely amazing movie, You know, I think you got it up here. Yeah, it was a 2009 movie anyway. Yeah, Jeff Bridges and Maggie Gyllenhaal, Colin Farrell. Genius, you know. This is like this was an original take on a movie. I mean, you had. I mean, let's. I mean, if you want to go like remakes, like good proper remakes, right? We go for. I mean, A Star Is Born, Bradley Cooper, and like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, brilliant. You know, they were abs. Like I mean, did what they brought to a new take, like something that nobody has ever seen before. A lot of people favoured like the Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson version of that, like which was back in the 70s. Now, my take on that was like it was so gripping and so enjoyable that I was on the edge of my seat. I was actually crying, but like when Bradley Cooper, like the character that he played, when he died in the, I bawled, like I bawled me, like I bawled, like I cried, like the remakes. for Star Wars, that's a bad example. Like the sequels. That was just a unfollowable story. Now some bits I will admit, right? Some bits are cool. I had great it did have certain good scenes in it, but at the end of the day, it didn't have substance. That's the thing. If we can get something that has a great story and has like something with substance and meaning, something that can have a long time in the minds of fans that go see these movies and enjoy them, then you know that's just my take. I believe in a good story. As any Star Wars fan, Marvel fan, Disney fan, could be anyone. Now, Disney has dropped the ball. We can all agree on that. But what they lack a simple like it's always something simple, and it's always something like I want to be fair to Disney. Because I mean, but I mean, and I'd be probably the forced to be fair to Disney. But in fair, from what Walt Disney himself has given us, he gave us the Jungle Book. Wonderful. Like it was just genius how that was made. Like you have, and I don't care what anyone says. Like Aristocrats was a great movie. 101 Dalmatians. Like I don't know why they're bringing it into live action, but like that is that was one of the greatest animated movies that you could ever get. And then Winnie the Pooh. I love these movies. It was just enjoyable. I grew up on these, and I want to. I'm just hoping that somebody says, right, let's have a good story. You know, let's have a great story, something that grips you. You know. Now, as regards to Marvel, I mean, you take it from what the beloved Stan Lee has gave us. He's given us Spider Man, which is what he personally loved himself. Like before he passed away on us, he had a long life, and what he gave us Thor, he gave us Captain America, he gave us Black Widow, he gave us like his catchphrase, right? True believers And I can tell you honestly that I am a true believer of Marvel and the potential. Now, I'm not saying they had great movies like Captain Marvel and all that. No, what I'm saying is they have the potential to give us gripping, powerful stories of the superheroes that we love. Now you keep in mind, right? If you read the comics like I have, there's at least over 200 of heroes and villains in the Marvel franchise, right? Now a lot of them we haven't seen yet, and they have the potential to give us some of the greatest stories ever in movie history. And that's a big statement. Same as Star Wars. They have the potential to give us the great stories that we have read. Like the Thrawn trilogy, for example, which I know many of you have read. Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade. Revan. Can you imagine if they pulled Revan from the higher echelons of Star Wars and said, let's take that one and make an absolute powerful story and the best story that we can ever have. Forget about Luke Skywalker. He's in the wind. Hey. After the sequel trilogy, I said, good luck. You know, I want nothing to do with Mr. Skywalker. Mark Hamill, yes, because he's a genius. He knows his stuff. And he knows that character. So I'll have him. I'm a bollocks, I know, but but the more serious thing, right, we gotta realize is a powerful story that the fans would love to have. Now, I went to see, as I told you in a previous video, I went to see Candyman. Now, Candyman, like back in the 90s, it was the absolute, it was one of the more daring horror movies, I will say, for its time. I loved Candyman 1 and 2. Yes, there was 2 of them. But this one, Mr. Peel, there was just too much of racial profiling and LGBTQ. There's just too much of it. It was in your face. And a lot of these movies, these recent movies that we are getting, is in your face. I don't want to know about that. I absolutely loved great stories, award winning stories. You take a great example of that. In recent times, right? We had Bill Skarsgård, right? We had Bill Skarsgård, an absolute genius actor, right? He put a remake of Pennywise the Clown. Hey Scott, welcome. I'm just talking about movies here, past and present. I was really getting into it. But anyway, like there was like you're welcome to come on, by the way, if you want. But and give us your take. But yeah, as I was saying, the like the like what we need is powerful, great stories. Like something that grips you and lets the fans know that we're here to stay. You know, I talked earlier, Scott, about the Shang-Chi review as well. I really enjoyed it. It was great. Hope you're well anyway. But yeah, basically the like it's something that I'm very passionate about as regards to going to see a movie. Like something that I want to see, like great, passionate, like high octane movies. Something that we can all enjoy, not just one community. You know, LGBTQ or racial profiling or whatever. I want to see something for everybody. Like something that I mean, you take right the Jaws franchise, like the very first one, that was just pure genius. Exorcist, pure genius. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, I really enjoyed the trailer for that. Absolutely, absolutely, it does. Like 100%. And even the remake. I mean, even like the reboots, like that was it was just something that we all loved. You know, it was. I mean, you take like something for recent times, for example. I just pulled one out. Like I talked about it earlier. It was called Crazy Heart. Like the and I mean, if you want to go remake, I would say like an absolute masterpiece was, I mean, in my opinion, was Star is Born. Like, I love that. A lot of people like the Chris Christopherson one and Barbara Streisand, but I mean, I mean, I love movies that is like deserves every accolade that it gets. I mean, you take the King's It. You take the Stephen King's It. Right? Pennywise the clown. Right? Played by Tim Curry. Now you compare that with the likes of Bill Skarsgård. My goodness, there's no contest. Bill Skarsgård played that. I mean, he even talked in interviews, right? And he scared the shit, and I'm talking the shit out of his own brothers. With just, that face. Yeah, another great movie. Sean Connery alone in that with Alec Baldwin. Like, you're talking, and then you have. I mean, that's an all-star cast right there. You know, like I mean that was just pure genius. Like that, like for like movies at that time, they were just pure genius. You know, Abs- oh, absolutely. Like I mean, it was an all-star cast for a reason. You know, Sean Connery, like he was just. I mean, here's another one. Crimson Tide. Right, Tombstone. Yes, brilliant. I'll be a Huckleberry. Well, it was brilliant. I loved Val Kilmer and that. He was just pure genius. And then he played like it was in the new series of Knight Rider. He actually played the car like Kit in yeah, like he played the car in Kit in the Knight Rider, like the brand new series. Just you know, Crimson Tide, like Gene Hackman, you know, and Denzel Washington, two of them, they just blended together. And that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like you just want great movies. Something that, like, I mean, something that we did. Like, I mean, there's one take that I took from that movie. Yeah, Like I said, they just blended. It was fucking brilliant. Like the one take I took from that movie, and something that not many people did know. Can you guess where it was, Scott? What was Gene Hackman's favorite hobby to do in that movie? I tell you, it was equestrian. He loved Mustang horses, right? Lipton's honors. Remember that? He loved Lipton's honors. And between Denzel Washington, right, and Gene Hackman, right, the two of them, like Denzel, he loved equestrian himself, but like the two of them kind of had a debate, right, right, whether they were Portuguese, right, you remember this, or Spanish, and as it turned out, they were both Spanish. And that was a great take. And I actually didn't. I actually didn't like. I learned a lot about horses on that. Man, take Mister Ed for example. But anyway, like, but you know, it's a kind of a. It's a kind of a thing. Like it was a kind of a thing that they had. Yeah, it was a great movie. I mean, like whether or like they had a question or not, whether they would go to war or not. Like basically like from one submarine to another. It was a fantastic story. Like I mean you had like and it wasn't his first submarine movie either, like Gene Hackman, you know. He done a kind of was one back in the day that he had. It was kind of B-21, I think. Let me get her up here and see if I can find it. Have a look at his filmography here. I don't show it. Um, One still. Yeah, he was in the original Poseidon Adventure back in '72. That was a great movie. Like everybody, I think the most favorite of all. Uh, I think the most favorite of all of Gene Hackman's was the likes of the French Connection. Like my father, Lord rest him, that was his favorite movie actually. Yeah, Bat 21 was actually. I didn't I couldn't remember the other person. I knew it was. It was actually Danny Glover who played alongside him in Bat 21. It was fantastic. It was a war movie, of course. Um, Fantastic. Um, yeah, I knew someone played alongside with him. I couldn't think who it was, but it was Danny Glover played alongside him. It was a long time ago now, but it was yeah, that was just a. I mean that alone, right? Like it was just genius. Like how they put that in like because he knew. Like I believe it was it a Salt Lake golf course if I remember correctly. It was as I say, it was a long time ago, and I don't blame you if you don't remember yourself, but I think it was the Salt Lake golf course that he was that he played on, and he knew well. But I can't remember the golf course that he played on. But I mean, that little tidbit alone, like it was just pure genius. It was a fantastic movie. I loved it. I think one of his last great, like I mean, it was kind of a cheesy type of thing, but I think the one with Sharon Stone. Yeah, I like Richard Harris. Like his movies, and anything. I mean, like if you're talking horses, right? You're talking like I loved the movie War Horse. I don't know whether you remember that one. That was a like Richard Harris, like he's a genius actor. But like the War Horse, I believe Killian Murphy, one of our Irish actors, he's he was in it. If my memory serves, There's now actually a play coming um, of that particular movie. Uh, it was like it was a brilliant movie. It was let me see, can I bring that up as well? Yeah, it was back in 2011. Um, Cast. Here we go. Right, we had Tom Hiddleston. You had Benedict Cumberbatch, David Thewlis, was some of the household names. Yeah, great movie. Like, I mean, that's something that, like I said earlier, it's something that we want, something that grips you. You know. Yeah, there's a movie coming out of Harry Potter. It's called The Cursed Child. Now, as you saw in my earlier videos, I actually showed the book of The Cursed Child. It was like it's a great story. Yes, I totally agree. Like politics, put it in small little bits from here and there. Doesn't have to control the whole movie. Like a great example of where they put politics. It was a small little thing, that they had. It was it was a recent movie. They put a small little bit in Black Widow, right? But it did. The great thing about it was it didn't affect the whole movie, and that's something that you can enjoy. Same with LGBTQ, right? Not a problem with it, but don't put it in my face, right? Don't put the whole thing in my face. Don't put racial profiling in my face because then you will get people, nah, don't want none of this, pal. Nah, not a chance. I don't want none of it. Just put a little bit in it. Something to say, okay. You take back in the day, right? Star Wars, right? The original series. We had politicians from Alderaan, right? We had politicians from Alderaan, right? It didn't affect the entire movie. We had the Emperor, Chancellor Palpatine. It didn't affect the entire movie. Because it's what brought the fans in. You know what I mean? It's what makes us love a particular series that we can all get into and say, yes, I am a believer in this franchise. You know what I mean? Yes. Just like I'm a postman. I'm the same. Like, we want to take, like, I mean, this is really why we go to see movies, to take us away from real life situations. Like, we don't want, like, pure, tired rhetoric every single time that we go to a movie. We don't need it. Like, it's something that we can enjoy. We want laughs. We want to be at the edge of our seat. I mean, 19 years of pure bureaucracy in the post office. And I'm sure you had it, Scott, in as a police officer. Like, pure bureaucracy. We don't want that movie. We don't want left and we don't want right. We just want straight down the middle. We're straight shooters. Most of us. I don't know about a lot of people, but we're straight shooters. We want something down the middle. We can go along the sidewalk or the path as we call it, but we want something down the middle. I don't care if it knocks us down, but we want something down the middle. If it's a train coming the other way, I don't care. I want something down the middle. It's something exciting. It brings us. You know? Exactly. It's simple, it's pure, and it's what people's want. It's what people goes to a movie for. You know. So that's just my take on it. I can't say I ever seen that one. You know, there was a movie back in the '60s. Charlie Chaplin. Interesting. Yeah, there was a movie back in the '60s of Charlie Chaplin. He played the I believe it was a movie called Adolf Hitler, and I believe we all remember the lines he told in that. Yeah, it was a sad tale, but yeah, getting on to my point, there was a movie made called Adolf Hitler, and like it was just you know it kind of hit home, and it still does resonate today. And if I can find it, I'll play a bit for you. Yeah, The Great Dictator was the movie. I don't know whether you can hear this. Let me know if you can hear that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. For those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will.
The music and that just brings more power to what he's saying. Beautiful, you know.
To free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Yeah, it's a movie called The Great Dictator. An absolutely powerful movie. And, you know, like still today, people have believed in that speech. Like it still holds true today. Like we the people, you know, we like it's not that we are inadequate, but powerful beyond all measure. Martin Luther King. You know, things that we can resonate to. We go and see a movie. We expect the best movie that you got. We pay money to see a decent movie. You know, and those people in power, that like I know that they don't look at smaller channels, but if they saw that speech My goodness, you know. Yes, exactly. I know we in Ireland we pay the bare bones of €13. Right, that's like $10 over your. Yeah. Hell, it was even less than that, wasn't it? It was even less than that. I remember going to see a movie. I was like €2, like 2 punts, 2 Irish punts. And back in the '70s, we had something like 55 half halfpenny bits. It was a weird currency back in the day. Back like when you were talking like back in the '60s, like it was a weird like you're talking guineas and back in those days, it was it was weird what we had to pay. Like like you're talking like nearly a quarter, you know. Like you could spend a dime, in these places. Yeah, a great movie to see as well. Star Wars. Yeah, you're talking guineas, you're talking halfpenny bits, you're talking. Then they brought the Irish punts, and then we have the euro over here. Whereas you guys, he's always had the dollar, and it changed from time to time. I'm sure. Still has Lincoln, still has Benjamin Franklin, still has George Washington on some of them. I'm a war traveller, so I know me stuff. I know the lingo over there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great like it's. Are you guys still seeing me? Uh, I think I'm overrunning this. But anyway, the yeah, it's funny the currency that we have. But yeah, I went off there for a second, which is kind of strange. But anyway, the but yeah, it was the currency changes are just nuts, Like from Like you're talking 100 years ago, like to the present day, you know. When you like, I mean, back in the 80s, like you were playing buttons, you know, for what we got. Like, I mean, then for some reason, well, you'll be always welcome. I know it was nice like, to get to chat with you and reminisce about certain past and present stuff, you know, and indeed future. But like, I mean, this is this is the type of stuff to. Hey, Leah, welcome to the show. Great to see you. Yeah, just talking about movies, past and present. I was talking about like you were talking about a lot of things actually. Um, I was talking about watching out for scams. That's how we started the video. I was talking about the Shang Chi review, and then we started talking about like really getting into it as regards to I done a song. I done um like I was really getting into it as regards to past and present movies, like powerful, strong movies that we can all watch and all can stand by and believe in, like Star Wars, like the Harry Potter franchise, Lord of the Rings, like just in it. Like I mean, we were talking about Gene Hackman movies, like The French Connection. We were talking about yeah, I know. It's I mean, it's different opinions, but I mean, like I have seen Babylon 5, no doubt about it. I've seen uh the movie there today. It was a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, Caprica, what's that? Is that a series or movie? Oh, Battlestar Galactica. Interesting. That was a great series back in the day. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica. That was a great series back in the day. Like Lone Star, and then you had like the Ambassador. Yeah, like those like the Cylons, and then alongside, yes, I absolutely will there, and I'll give my review on that. But yeah, that was a great series back in the day. I worked along. I don't know whether you remember. There was a series called Buck Rogers, and the man of the 25th series. That was a great series as well. Like between the Cylons and Battlestar Galactica, the like Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica. The two of them kind of coincided. Like it was great, you know. Uh, like it was a great series that. And diggy diggy diggy, little robot, diggy diggy diggy. I don't know, Buck. Yes, Flash Gordon, not a great series, not a great movie. Uh, I believe it was in Von Sydow played the like Ming the Merciless. That was a great movie, and then you had Timothy Dalton in there as well. I remember that well. Like it was a absolute like I mean it was great. Like the same featured in Ted. I don't know whether you've seen that one, but like it was so funny. Like considering that he actually married like Ted and his wife. It was hilarious. Yeah, the whole series with Bill Bixby. I remember that well. Like I think my favorite one was the trial of the Incredible Hulk. Um, it was one where we seen the the Daredevil for the first time. I think it's Matt Hooper, isn't it? But yeah, it was. That was a great series, and I think we got an old type of Thor as well, like introduced in that particular um like series as well. I mean, some of those series back in the 80s, they were pure genius. Like it's something that we can stand by. That's basic, like something like that grips you. Something that like I just done a scene from The Great Dictator. Okay, Leah, mind yourself. Catch you next week, hopefully. Yeah, I just played a scene from The Great Dictator, and it was a movie from the 60s. Charlie Chaplin gave an amazing speech, it was very powerful. And that's something that we need. That we need. We need great stories. Like, so, I better skedaddle myself. It's been great talking with you guys, and I appreciate you giving your feedback. And sure, I'll catch you on the next cartoon. So, guys, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you on the next cartoon. Take it easy, guys.